Good morning. I'm Faye Thompson, and this recipe is a Reuben sandwich made into a casserole. This is a large recipe. For one reason you could cut it in half or fourth or whatever you wanted to, but one reason I'm making it this size is because I'm going to divide it with more than one family, and we're also going to put some in the freezer. So if you wonder why it's such a big recipe, that's the reason. We're going to butter this pan, and this pan is a 12 by 15. And I like to take a paper towel and butter that so I don't mess my fingers up. I got most of it buttered. The first thing we do, we use pumpernickel or rye bread. The recipe calls for 1 pound a fourth. Okay, we're going to take 1/3 of the bread, which is going to be a little over 5 slices. And we're going to layer them in the bottom of this pan. So we're going to layer these in the bottom, and I'm going to have to tear some of these in two to get them to fill the pan, bottom of the pan. The next thing we do, we add 3 cups of corned beef, and you have to chop this up. It comes usually in slices, and you can buy it at the delis. So I have already chopped mine up. We're using 1/3 of it here. We're going to layer this. And the next layer is sauerkraut. Now what we've done with the sauerkraut, I have bought a large jar like this, and I like the shredded sauerkraut. You can buy it in chopped or shredded. I like the shredded. And this is a Kroger brand. But we want to take this out and put it in a colander like this and drain it real good. So I've already done that so we wouldn't take up so much time. So our sauerkraut is right here. We got to put a layer of this. We're using 1 cup of sauerkraut. We have to layer this 3 times, so you're going to have 3 cups of sauerkraut. And the next layer is Swiss cheese, and you have to shred this. I have it already shredded. It calls for 4 cups. You're going to use 3 in the layers and 1 on the top. That's Swiss cheese now. Now we've taken 3/4 of a cup of Russian dressing and 3/4 cup of Duke's mayonnaise and mixed it together. Next we use the dressing on top of that. We repeat this 2 more times. This Russian dressing and mayonnaise tastes good together. We repeat this another time, so we just do the same thing over. We're using another cup of corned beef, another cup of kraut. You have to have the kraut to make a Reuben sandwich good. I remember when my mother used to make her own kraut. I've forgotten how she made it. It had to sit for about 10 days, I think. And she had a great big pot. I don't know what it was made out of. It was some kind of ceramic, look at it. But anyway, she would weight it down, and they put salt on it, and I'd go out there with her when she'd check it. She had a cloth over it and weighted it down with something. And a lot of times I would eat some of it, and it was delicious, I thought, really good. Now we got to put another coat of dressing on this. We'll drizzle this all over it. I've always liked kraut. We always had that. My mother canned it. After she'd take it out of that big jar, she'd can it. Like a churn, except it was even bigger than a churn. I still have that in the attic, my mother's. I kept a lot of that stuff. I don't know. I go back sometime and look at it, and it brings back memories of all the things they did. My mom and dad were hard workers. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on that. You kind of do this to taste whatever your taste is. But you can freeze it. Something you're not going to make every day anyway. Well, you just serve it like you do any other casserole. Now we got another cup of corned beef. It's a big casserole. But like I said, you can cut it in a fourth or a half or whatever you want to do. I'm just giving some of this away is the reason I'm doing it this big. Well, Easter is tomorrow, and I'm going to be Bunny Rabbit again, but I only have 2 of my little great-grandchildren going to be here. The other 2 is in California. Okay, we're going to use another cup of cheese. There's 4 cups of the Swiss cheese. I shredded it already. This is our last layer of this. The next thing we're going to do is blend. We have 10 eggs that I've already beaten in this bowl, and we're going to add 2½ cups of whole milk. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, we're going to pour this eggs, milk, and Dijon mustard over the top of this. Now, you have to let this set about an hour, and you can let it set up to 24 hours in the refrigerator before you cook it. So it's something you'd have to plan ahead. Okay, we're going to put plastic wrap over this, and I think I've got to put 2 layers because this pan is too wide. We got to press that down. Let me get another layer here. Now, what we're going to do is pat this down on top of this. We're going to put our casserole in the refrigerator for up to an hour, and you can keep it up to 24 hours before you bake it. Okay, this is the Reuben casserole that we finished, and I hope all of you try it. If you like a Reuben sandwich, I think you're going to like it. I'm going to taste that. I haven't made it in a while. That's delicious. I hope you try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it as much as my family. And I'll see you on another family video.